And here we are, the penultimate episode. They may live through this one. Will they live through the next one? You got to see where they end up after this one. These guys aren't looking, they're not too confident. Chris will unfortunately have to sit this one out due to a bad case of being a pain in the ass. I'm joking. Chris is not in good shape today, so he will pop in. Everybody will pop in for the final episode, and we'll see if we can wreck house on everyone. So, you guys, after fighting Jason Voorhees in the hospital and finding a way to what is it, banish him, at least for a little while. You guys are doing better. Most of you guys are at half health. Well, half of you guys are at half health. The two people on the top shelf here are at 3/4 health. And it is now time to take the fetish, return it from whence it belongs, to reseal the deal. Otherwise, bad things happen.
Yes, bad things do happen. We've still not had anything more from these so-called mages. We don't know really what the deal is with them. I suppose my main concern is what's happening with my employer. Is he, again, as I said, I had obviously contacted the British consulate, tried to get him at least,
Yeah.
repatriated.
I'll say that you've talked to him, found out, details of what happened. Nothing extraordinary, just the same things that you've been able to figure on your own. He was tricked into going down there, and then it just kind of overtaxed his brain and then left him and
Is he still?
left him
Is
on
he
his own.
still like not all
He's
there?
doing he's doing better, but you know that you can send him back home and then you'll be back in a while if you want to send him home. Otherwise, you can keep him in your care.
I think I would be safer knowing that he's back home in the UK.
Okay.
Obviously, ideally, I'd like to, if I could, I would go back with him. But I feel like there are bigger things happening here, and this is where I'm needed. So, yeah, I will get
You
him
know a
sent back home,
you know
and
a bunch
then
of nurses back home, and you get the best of them to take care of him. And yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
what what's the Skype? You Skype with them every so
Skype with
often.
him, yeah, yeah, and just say I will be back to resume my duties as soon as I can, sir. But
All right, all
I've
right.
found something of a life of my own here,
Mm,
unexpectedly.
something. So, you guys want to start off with the power plant, or do you have other things that you want to do? Remember, the power plant is the entrance to the sewers that will give you access to that cavern underground. Or do you have other things that you want to, other business to
That
handle?
I suppose the only thing we could do is again just touch base again with the Sandhills Indians and make sure if there's anything else they can tell us about what we need to do or what's expected of us when we return the
Return the
fetish.
fetish to its place. You'll know it when you see it, and then come back safely if you can.
Yeah, we really haven't talked to them since the werewolves took such a big loss, so that could be a point for you, Chivers.
Yes, I suppose you can only really apologise for we are doing. I suppose we could ask them. Do they know anything about this candle? We seem to have some kind of marker on us that we don't understand
Ken
what it
does.
is.
Ken
Ah,
does, and while you guys are down there, they could start trying to work on some kind of a counter spell to get rid of this curse because he kept it with him the whole night and it burned out at the time. So the candle is essentially fused with him. So yeah, they'll Father Greylight will always know. He was the owner of the other candle. He'll always know where Ken is.
right. Yeah. So we need to sort of, yeah, exercise the that part of the spell to protect him again.
I think there's also the question of what is the value of the fetish if the werewolves are gone.
If that tribe is gone, but that's talking about all werewolves. So they'll give you the understanding, and I'll speak a little bit out of game in order to make sure that you guys and those at home understand. When you Asbury Park is filled with the taint of the worm, WYRM.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot of industry in trying to rebuild everything there, and there's a lot of supernatural activity. It's a place so it's going to attract all sorts of other supernatural creatures there, including the Garu. And if the wolves come in, they're going to start, cleaning house. And this could actually wind up igniting the blood moon if the wolves are allowed to return in full. So right now they can return, all of them, not just that particular clan where the bond was made, but right now all of them can return, but they can't sleep. So they wouldn't be able to stay for very long.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I would suggest then, if we can, because returning the fetish is obviously the most important thing. It might delay things a little bit, but I think we need to remove the taint from that candle first, because there's no point us returning the fetish if then Greylight knows where we've taken it. Or I suppose the other way around that is that Ken doesn't go, so he doesn't, so he's not present. But I don't really want to leave Ken behind, because he's very good up here when it comes to occult stuff.
Agreed. I wouldn't want to leave Ken behind. He's a very perspicacious gentleman.
I hear
He
you.
is.
Well, if he were to come down there now, that's one thing. But if I'm saying, Father Greylight, but it's not that he'll see where he's been; it'll see where he is.
Ah, so only if he's actively seeking will he know.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, so he can't it's not like a GPS, he can follow him everywhere. All right, he's been here in the past 5 hours. He
But
stopped
they
at
do
Hannah Costa. Sorry.
But they do suggest that it might be a two-way mirror. I was kind of hoping one of you guys, Ken especially, would have thought of that
Yes, of
as it
course.
stands. If you'd like to make a roll, however you think you do it, perception should be one of them. And
Could I do like a perception intuition?
yeah, why not?
Do you have anything in awareness? Awareness normally covers supernatural stuff.
I mean, my awareness is just as good as my intuition.
Okay.
No? Yeah, they're the same. And we're looking for a 6.
Maybe after the game is over.
That would be 2 successes.
Good enough. You close your eyes. You're not used to this. It's like trying to read a palm for the first time or scry for the first time, but it is still focused, and there's something there. You've seen it before, but you've never noticed it, never caught your attention, never seen something important. It's like it's very rare you notice the specks in your eyes, but when you do notice them, it's hard to stop noticing them. And that's what's happening now. You notice this speck and you kind of start focusing and honing in on it. And you can see what Father Greylight sees. And he is, you can't tell if he's particularly close just yet, but he's not close right now. And he's talking to people. He's trying to rally up more troops, trying to test to see, because there's a bunch of zealot types who want to work with him, work for him, even if it means their death, because it's the honor of being able to work with him. But he is very selective about the ones he takes. So he's trying to work out which ones are good enough to join him. And he's also trying to figure out why you're muted.
Oh, sorry. From what I can see, does it look like he's in any sort of like warehouse or church or any other recognizable type structure?
Yeah, he seems perfectly in place in some kind of a church.
Are there any, maybe, not that I'm fluent in religion, but do I see any sort of like identifiers of a certain faith?
I have theology. If you can describe it to me, I might be able to.
Oh, nice. Okay. He is in a non-denominational, looks like possibly an Anglican church. So there is an altar. It's not a stage with dancing. So it's not one of those kind of churches. But it's certainly not a full-on um, Catholic or Orthodox church.
So
So
no like stained glass windows or anything like that.
yeah, not the same way. There's no iconography like the Catholics would use, for instance. Again, there's no there is an altar, but it's not like a proper altar. So yeah.
So quite a modern looking church.
Yeah, more modern looking one. There's no real, not that there's no life to it. I don't mean to insult anybody else's, religion or beliefs or whatever, but like it's not.
It's
It
more
looks
subdued. It's not as ostentatious as you'd get from some of the older religions.
exactly without the iconography. You can tell it's more like updated as opposed to a traditional Latin or Greek or Coptic mass,
Like
right?
chairs instead of pews and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we could say that. Some chairs, some pews, whatever. Not that that would necessarily matter. There are some churches where you sit on the floor, but yeah, the altar looks like it's less decorative and more, I don't know, utilitarian than anything else. So again, it's probably one of the English churches,
I was
Anglican,
going to say
Methodist.
Anglican is technically C of E.
Yeah, it's the old, Church of England.
Yeah.
From what I see, does it look well kept enough that I would think it's still in practice, or does it look like maybe it's run down enough that it might have been decommissioned?
Excellent. That's
Mhm.
actually the biggest tell, is that there haven't been parishioners here in quite a long time, not for an actual mass or an actual religious gathering, more of a religious zealotous movement. This has been commissioned specifically for, or recommissioned for, the Judas Killers.
So
You know that with time and practice, you'd be able to actually find him.
So I'll at least, when I come out of this state, I'll kind of describe what I saw to everyone else so they're fully informed.
That's fine.
Do I get the impression that I can actually hear the words he's saying, or more that I can just tell
No.
visually that they're speaking?
Yeah, you could tell that there's some talking there. You could see his hands moving every so often. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that you see.
So
He's rallying troops.
So then I probably sort of get So I probably get the impression too then that if I were in some way blinded or my eyes were closed or whatnot, he might not be able to tell what I'm up to either.
He won't be able to see what you're seeing, but he'll still be able to know in general where you are.
So I get the impression that maybe if I had honed the skill a little bit more, then
Yeah, that's what I said. If you were to learn how to make the focus properly, but it's kind of like I indicated before, it's like scrying or seeing something for the first time, trying to find your life vein for the first time, trying to see numbers for the first time, kind of like using your sight, basically your hunter's sight. Yeah, you've got it hurts. You're getting a headache. It's starting to, it's probably going to give you a bad headache and maybe make your nose bleed soon. So it's just going to take some getting used to.
Well, in this state, if I activate my hunter sight, so I'm kind of saying I want to do this. Do I see anything different,
You
or
get
do
the
I
feeling
just
that
see...
if you did that right now, you might actually slip into a coma.
Okay, I'll pump the brakes on that one.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is your, obviously this is your guys' town. Do you? I mean, I'm sure you probably don't know just trying to think where's the best place. I suppose the library to get kind of a rundown on all of the Anglican churches that have ever been commissioned in the Asbury area.
Like I said, it doesn't seem like he's anywhere near you guys.
Okay, so he's not local at the moment. Well, we should then, obviously, when Kurt comes back, we should capitalize on this moment and get the fetish back where it belongs. This seems to be the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we need to do when we're down there? Is there any kind of ritual that we need, or any kind of words we need to recite? Or is it just...
He says it's self-explanatory when you get there.
Okay.
I think that whatever we do, it may be worthwhile to do so quickly, because even if he's nowhere near us, if there is that sense that we're taking our time and going too slow, they could always catch up.
Of course. Is there anything, I mean, Ken, you might know better with your special abilities, with this vision that you have. And again, you might not be able to, it may be too early days. I know you can find him, but is there a way that any kind of early warning that you can give yourself that he's looking for you?
I don't think I'm familiar enough with this to be able to perceive those differences.
Yeah, you won't know until it happens.
Yeah, maybe with time and practice, but certainly not now.
Yeah, if and when.
Okay. Well, I will get my picnic hamper, my picnic basket.
All right, boo-boo buddy.
Make sure I've got my little bandolier with me knives.
And some snacks.
And some snacks, of course. Always snacks.
Road beers.
Mm-hmm. And a little pot of gentleman's relish to spread on your crackers.
Grape upon.
Oh, is that what that is?
The hell is gentleman's relish?
That's what I was wondering.
It's a kind of like a paste. It's a bit like pate.
Is it white?
Kind of thing. I think it is a kind of an off-white color. I can't remember.
Can we just pretend it's kimchi?
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. I haven't heard anything from Sam, so I'm sure he's sorting his problems out. But yeah.
As
soon as everybody's ready.
He said earlier that he couldn't
Yeah.
keep charge.
But I'm surprised. He seemed to go into portrait mode for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know he's had issues with his cat before, and then it shifted like that.
No cat.
His big fluffy pussy. Sorry.
So you get to the north end of Asbury Park. There's a storm drain entry near the old train yard. You guys each begin with the lingering penalties from the trauma or the aggravated damage that you suffered. You two, Jerry and Shivers, have 3/4 of your health. Ken, and if Sam ever comes back, has half of his health, half of their health. Yeah. So you start walking through the sewers, and with everything that you've done, everything you've gone through that's hardened you a little bit, it makes you a little bit more resilient to the darkness, the wetness, the isolation, and the sense of dread. Like the air is wet, the water is ankle deep. Your flashlights are casting long shadows on brick walls that are slick with old moss and even graffiti. Going through areas that should be caged, but the locks have been broken, probably not by somebody who's actually employed to do it. So you're tough, you're resolved and all that stuff, but you also know that that the things that have caused you to be this tough could very well be down here. So it's a mixture of, I got this, and why am I doing this to myself again?
And regretting wearing yet another white flannel suit.
Oh my God. Anyway, better than the quilted cape you were wearing earlier. So, you guys are trudging through the sewage. You're following the electric lines as you go down there. Jerry understands these really well. It's a good thing he's here with you guys. He understands the difference between the water lines, the sewage lines, and the electrical lines that are down here. Also, for the most part, almost all of the grid is down here except for cable, or the T1 lines. There's no fiber optic yet. Sorry, guys. But anyway, as you're going through, you start realizing that there are rats scurrying by you. You see them, you feel them just as much as you see them, and you're hearing them all over. And pretty soon, they start standing not all of them, but some of them start actually standing in front of you, and their eyes glowing in a certain way. And you see more come charging up after you.
The Rat King? I mean,
Well, okay.
Pied Piper?
Who's that Nosferatu we were dealing with in Shivers' campaign?
Oh dear, Franklin.
Yeah, it's Franklin. Could be a spawning pool.
Could be. Oh Christ! Yeah, hope not. There's not a huge alligator down here, is there?
A white one.
Albino alligator. Yeah.
Alligator. Of course. We've already do it. There's no alligators in the sewers.
Yes, because the gremlins ate them. So, you guys can dispose of them however you want.
Are they just normal, like
The way that
rats? Are they?
Say again?
Are they like normal rats, or are they like any kind of?
No, they're not extra large or anything, but they're, they've been eating well down here. I'll say that.
Mhm.
And yeah, they're looking at you very differently than a normal rat would. They're actually hungry. They see you as food. They start actually moving in, very similar to the way that the Flood would move in the Halo games, if you remember that.
I do have I do have like a folding baton in my pocket, so I'll pull that out and just try and sort of push them out the way in front of us and stop them getting too close.
Is it like a swarm or just a few rats, or what is it?
It's swarms that are kind of building up more and more.
I'm
Jerry,
going
do
to
you have
use
any?
my foresight and gamble some conviction just so I have it at the ready.
Make your
Jerry,
roll.
do you have any? Do you have a flare or anything? Don't give it to Ken. There's no there's no brush out here. But if anybody's got a flare, that might. Although there is probably a lot of gas down here, which is probably not.
I have
good idea.
Pistol, but
That'll be 6 successes.
Oh,
Nice. So 7 foresights. Holy crap. This is your best one yet.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Sam will throw down a flare. Chris Conrad could be down here also. He'll throw down a flare, and it chases them away enough. It kind of freaks them out a little bit, and they understand that you guys will indeed fight back. But some of them actually start trying to peck at the flare. Some of them don't do such a good job at it, and they actually,
how about on a gamble? I'll take out the fetish and hold it up and see if they react to that.
they kind of stop. Some of them almost seem to get the other's attention, and they're looking, and they kind of start turning, and they'll start walking away.
Phew.
Not
Yeah.
too shabby. Not too shabby. So you guys are going down further and further.
oh yeah,
As you guys are going down, somebody calls down, or somebody calls from up ahead. Who are you? And you hear chuck chuck, like shotgun pump.
We are friends of the Sandhill Indians here on righteous purpose to return that which was taken.
I don't know them. I don't know you.
Okay. Then I would ask who you are.
How far does it sound like this voice is coming? Do we have any sort of gauge?
30 feet or so. That's like, yeah, not too far. Yeah, about 10 meters or so ahead of you, but it's dark in there. You can see a little bit of movement and then you don't. So you're questioning if you actually did see the movement or not. The voice sounds a little grizzled.
So, you down there, you definitely have the upper hand on us. You have the shotgun. I can hear it. Could you hold off on squeezing that trigger though?
Maybe. What do you want? You guys don't work down here. Nobody comes down here.
We simply wish to pass. As I say, we are returning something that was taken that belongs down here.
What?
An item of importance to this area.
Ken, you notice that there's a laptop. Now that you're trying to see through the darkness a little bit more focused, but moving your eyes to refreshen your cones, you can see there's a laptop on the floor. And it seems to be hooked up to the power lines, but with splicing and a repeater to try and attenuate how much electricity is coming in.
I'll go ahead and use a foresight and see what happens if I move up to the laptop and kind of take a look, read the screen, that sort of thing.
Right before you're shot and killed, you see that he's got hunter.net up.
And so obviously I will not actually do that. But going back at that choose your own adventure point, I say, you know as well as we are, we're hunters, and we're here to care for the city. We're doing
What kind of
needs to be
hunters?
done.
What do you hunt?
The creatures that cause strife in the night. The
Are you the
vampires, the
Judas
demons.
killers?
No.
No.
Do I know you on the net?
Our names are out there, but I don't know.
What's your name?
What's yours?
You'll know me as Sunday Driver.
I don't know you. And you haven't been very active.
No.
A little bit. Not as active as
That's
well,
these
actually
guys.
Ken is the most active on there.
You would know me as Schrodinger's juxtaposition. And apparently we're in quite the position, aren't we?
That's you?
Before a run-in with the Judas killers, yes. I'm not at my top shape at the moment.
He comes walking out a little bit. Come up and let me see your face. He tosses a glow stick. Hold it up to your face.
So I'll bend down to grab the glow stick. In my other hand, I'll grab one of the things we talked about that I was making between sessions, just in case I need it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'll bring the glow stick up, kind of just under, then to the side of my face.
You see his eyes shift, a little bit of fire in them. He seems to be satisfied. His shoulders rest. He lowers the shotgun. It's like, holy crap. You guys came down here.
It's been a hard couple. It's been a hard month.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a reason
can
we've been
imagine.
silent.
You guys are new. You guys have been through a lot. Come on over if you want. I got some food.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated.
Would you like some of ours? And I'll open the picnic basket.
He turns and looks. He's like, okay, yeah. You guys are really new. So you guys are sitting down talking. If you guys have any questions you want to ask this guy, he tells you that he was at Purgatory and he was at Abyss. Both
Oh, wow.
gloves. Yeah.
Would we know you from the boards, or do you mostly lurk?
Yeah, I'm a lurker. Name's Mothlight. You might have found me years ago looking, but ever since Abyss, I don't go anywhere near. I just watch.
I can understand. After the most recent attack we had with Father Greylight, things have been rough.
Yeah. He doesn't go on himself, but I know some of the guys there know him. Some of them actually know him in the wrong way. He's the leader of the ones who turned against us. He was probably the first one who, I think he actually went over voluntarily.
Apex?
You guys have been asking about Apex too.
Mm.
Apex is a good guy. Apex is solid. When that's all he was known as back in the day, just Apex, because he was the top of his game. I know he had some other name before that, but I don't even remember what it was. But we started calling him Apex. This guy would go out solo, sometimes with groups, but even just solo, and he would find out all sorts of things, come back from things that some of us couldn't imagine coming back from. He would give us all sorts of advice all over the country, helping people out, giving us information that we didn't even know we needed. So yeah, he was the apex predator. Then he went dark for a while and came back. Not sure why, but he started giving advice. He was kind of like the man in the tower, the man in the chair, and he started giving us advice on going after purgatory. I'm telling you, I've never in my life seen something so beautiful. We were at the apex of all of our game at that point. He gave us all the instructions and everything just fell right perfectly into place. He had that whole place completely scoped out, knew where everything would be, and just boom, we were able to handle it, no problem. Barely 30 of us. Never seen so many come together. Never seen so many of us being able to actually get along with each other. Heck, we practically didn't even curse. It was amazing. And then just a couple of months later, 2 months later or so, he came back talking about Club Abyss, another big thing. But it wasn't him. It was somebody else. If you looked at the name, most people didn't notice it, but a character was in there differently. Somebody was trying to pretend to be him, somebody who was really good at hacking the system, and he had to have been a hunter.
Do you think that might have been Father Greylight?
Or his
I don't know
benefactor?
I don't know exactly how it worked, but I do know that some of the hunter that all of a sudden hunters went on the board. We all became greenlit and recognized by whatever the hell was out there, not just the vampires, not just the fangers, but anything that was out there for the most part understood what we were. Purgatory was a haven for vamps, and once they got an understanding that there were actually some of us who could see them, that was enough. So they went out on a mission to find as many of us as they could. A bunch of us got lost. Some of us were probably killed, but I do know that a bunch of us were also turned. I don't know how they do it. It's the strangest damn thing. But they were able to get to us and get some of us to turn on each other. And those are the Judas killers. They were the ones who were able to, they didn't have to hack into the hunter.net. They were a part of it. It was part of their gift.
See, I had considered, and again, my friend Ken here is a lot more versed in these things than myself. But these gifts that we have been given by the blessings of the angels or the messengers, as I've heard them called, is it possible that not all of the messengers fight for the same goals? Are the Judas killers listening to messengers whose message is not pure?
I don't know what goes on in their heads. I don't know if most of us don't have contact with the messengers anymore anyway. A couple of them do.
I don't. Have you ever heard of this? It's a name that was floated around when we first began our adventures. Somebody referred to as Avalanche the Architect. Does that mean anything to you?
That's interesting because after Apex wasn't in the field anymore, he was just in the chair. We started calling him Apex the Architect.
Oh. Curious. Yeah, muted again, Ken.
What about the Wake? We've heard about the Wake and that the Wake was in favor for Club Purgatory. But then when it came to Club Abyss, almost like it had turned against the Hunters.
Yeah. We don't know what that is. It's something that some of us were able to notice. The visionaries, they were able to see this. We don't know. Maybe it's something that Apex was able to figure out. I have no idea. But yeah, I know I've heard people talking about that also.
Almost
never
like a
understood it.
sense of synergy or synchronicity that empowered you so you could do no wrong.
Some of us think that it's the reason why Apex was able to see things as though he were on the ground, even though he wasn't. I don't know anything else beyond that. I haven't thought of the Wake in years.
I'm assuming you haven't felt it in years either then.
Only at those two clubs.
And so Abyss still exists, the club?
Oh yeah,
That
that's
was
still up.
It still exists.
It's funny. I tried, like, out of character. I tried to get in contact with the guy Blackie, who he's still alive, old Marine, on Facebook. He just doesn't answer his private messages. He's the guy who sold his club to Club Abyss, the owners of Club Abyss. Yeah, I forget what it's called. I think it was called Lucky's before that. It was a huge bar, and then the owners of Club Abyss bought it from him. He sold it to them. I was trying to ask, was it something before that? So I was trying to keep with the history of everything. But yeah, I was trying to figure out what it was back in, like, was it something back in the Prohibition days or something? And he's just not answering. He might have, wouldn't it suck if he died? Like, his last post, and then 2 days later, I'm looking at him, I was like, "Ooh, I found him." And I asked him something in private, and he hasn't made a post since, and he hasn't even looked at my message yet. That would suck if I just missed it, you know?
I did try and call Sam, but I can't get through. He's just going to answer my phone, so I don't know what's going on, unfortunately.
He'll come back if he can.
Yeah.
Do you know, so obviously you were at Purgatory and you had some experience with Abyss. Do you know anything else about the vampires and the clans of this area? We picked up some information, and it sounds like there may be something beneath Club Abyss, that there might be some sort of clan or relic or something of old that they've been manifesting here maybe since the 20s.
I don't know about everything you're talking about, but yeah, a lot of us have figured out that not all the vampires actually get along with each other, that they might actually be in different clans. That would be interesting, but they tend not to talk. We tend not to ask questions anyway. One's just as bad as the other. They all eat us, so they can eat lead, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the basement, yeah, I got to Abyss late. It's probably the only thing that saved my life. But some of the guys who did escape, yeah, it goes underground, like a pretty deep basement.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mess with it. I wouldn't go anywhere near it.
We were hearing things about like a lady in red and all sorts of other cryptic things.
Oh, I don't remember who was there. I don't remember anything like that. I just know that Club Abyss should be avoided at all points. unless Apex actually came back, yeah, I would follow him. I'd follow him into the heart of, Abyss twice if I had the opportunity.
We also had a tangential run-in with some what I believe are wizards from the Edison Museum. We discovered a facility that they have there. and
I've
some
seen people
strange
that look like
experiments.
us. They look like regular men. They can make fire and lightning and all sorts of things come out of their hands or just appear out of nowhere. It's amazing what you can see when you're actually allowed to see.
Yes, yeah. Well, some of the things we saw down there were pretty horrific. Excuse me. Brains powering machines, and some kind of creature that can only really be called some kind of Frankenstein abomination
Mm.
that we discovered down there. But
More
we've come
monster
down.
than man.
Yes, absolutely. But we've come down here to, and I'll show the fetish, to return this. We believe we've been told that it's an item of power that is of intrinsic importance to Asbury, and it needs to be returned to its ancestral home to protect the city.
Maintaining a balance and keeping some semblance of evil outside.
Really? That would be
Yes.
great.
It's something to do with the werewolves.
The pact.
Yes, apparently they are on the side of good.
No, they're not.
It's not that they're good. It's that this pact, it keeps a balance which prevents the chaos of the blood moon from completely overwhelming the area.
I don't know anything about a blood moon, but I will say this: if it'll keep those big damn what do you call it, bundles of fur with claws and fangs out of Asbury, good. Maybe we can find a couple of those things for the vamps also, and some of the other things. Look,
Like you said, we're new and we're still learning, but that's the goal.
look, there's things down here also you got to be worried about once in a while, but usually not too much. I've cleared a bunch of the things out, but there is one thing down here that I can't clear out. I don't know how real it is.
The
but
Rat Lord.
It walks in dreams. I don't know about any rat lord.
We saw some rats that seemed very, very intelligent for rodents.
Yeah, you kill enough of them and they tend to run away.
Well, it's curiously enough, when I presented this, that seemed to drive them off, and I'll again show the fetish.
So you
Cool.
said there's some sort of dream walker?
Something that if you get too close to it, it seems to enter your dreams. Here, take this. It's a 1927 penny.
Okay.
He says, it's old, means something to me. That means it might mean something to this thing.
Interesting. Have you encountered this thing?
He's not going to have any more information for you, and I don't want this to get boring for either of us.
Well, we will be as discreet and as quick as we can, and we will.
Before we go, I will scry in hunter speak upon the wall ground someplace that looks like it's clear enough but visible. I'll put a sigil saying the fetish must stay in place to secure the balance, and another one that says beware what lurks in dreams.
You guys are amazed to see, because you guys know that you can read and write in the sigils, but only one word at a time. And this guy's pulling out like quotations and whatnot, like long form, but also still in a single symbol. So yeah, and you're writing in the air instead of writing with something. So it's nothing that can be graffitied. It's only a hunter or whatever you want should actually be able to see it. Nice. You learned that from that kid.
Sharp kid.
Say that again. So you guys are on your way. And you're
Absolutely.
walking. Yeah. You guys are walking. It's taking you a ridiculously long time, a lot longer than you expected it to take. But you guys are also walking from the north of Asbury down toward, towards the south, towards Ocean Grove. And that right there, that's a couple mile hike.
Plus,
then
I still
there's-
got a limp.
Yeah, and there's twists and turns, and then there's sub levels, but you seem to have no problem really finding it. Every so often, you are finding a sigil here and there that just doesn't necessarily say anything, but seeing the sigil knows, like, okay, you know that you're on the right track. It says something to the effect of, this way, right? As you're down there, you reach a junction box where a corpse is strung up with wires, pumping like a dark electricity into it. This is what you see. There's an electric revenant of sorts. These are wearing the clothes of city workers, now reanimated by these dark currents, corrupted.
Does this seem at all similar to what we saw in the underground area? The, I don't know, electric wraith sort of thing?
Something like that. But these are actually physical bodies, 2 of them that get up and remove themselves from these, almost like Sleepy Borg, who just remove themselves from this wall and then just start lumbering forward. Not slow, but not running.
If I may, first things first.
Bunch of white shields go,
Yeah.
around you guys.
So it's zeal plus stubborn. Stubborn's 3. That's pretty good. That's 4 successes.
Nice. So these shields go up, and they go up and they start trying to grab onto the shields, and they're moving a little bit, trying to keep a bit of a balance, and they're trying to grab onto them and bite onto them, and you see electrical current going through their teeth as they're moving and stumbling as they're trying to grab the next one, trying to reach in to get you, and they're fighting against something that they just can't quite win against.
I'd like to use a foresight to see what would happen if I took my wakizashi and tried to stab one of them.
That it does some damage, but the electrical current actually flies up towards you.
Okay. I will
That thing seems to be a bit conductive.
yeah, I'll take a pause, go back, not do that, and say, be careful, guys. Just like that thing in the basement, if we strike these, we may get a jolt as well.
Unless one has a way of striking them from range. And I'll pull out one of my knives. And I am at -1s because I'm still injured, but
What are you going to do there, Jer?
Derek?
Derek?
Fuck. Sorry.
Mr. Sleepy Time?
Huh? So give me a second to catch up, man. I'm sorry.
There's 2 electric monsters shambling towards you guys.
Oh, fuck it. All right, activate my fucking monkey wrench, and
Okay.
which is not
It's-
wrench. I have to remind you, it's just the energy form.
I know. I remember.
So it's not going to come back and zap me back unless there's something else going on.
Mhm.
All right.
What'd you get there, Shivers?
So I got 2 successes to hit, so I'm just about to roll damage now because it's strength plus the 2. Just 2 automatically. And the dagger's a strength, only strength plus 1, I believe. So it's going to be three damage with the knife as it into one
Nice.
of them.
Okay. He takes some damage. He reacts, but he doesn't show any kind of pain about him. Jer?
I'll take the swing of the weapon. And oh god, holy shit! Okay. 4
That's the
success.
sound I like. Okay. And damage?
So that is strength +1, right?
Strength +1, I think.
Okay, I just don't remember.
Neither do I. It's not my job. It's yours.
Well, we'll go with that because that'll be 5 successes then.
Nice. So that's 6 damage.
No, strength's 4 dice.
Oh my God. Freaking Max. You're loud. Master your mute button. I can't even hear Derek. Oh, gee.
It's, no, my strength is 4 dice.
So how much damage do you do?
5.
Okay, 5 damage. Excellent. All right. You crack this thing on the head and it actually splits the helmet open, and he falls on his hands and knees. And he's looking up and trying to move forward, but still bumping against these moving white full body shields, these tower shields, and trying to get in. And pretty soon he just kind of lays there, and his head is just, dump, dump, dump as the shields are slowly spinning by. But there's still the other one. He's going to try to push through. He gets a hand in, and ooh, Max. He is able to do 1 point. Yeah, 1 point of electrical damage to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel, and you're like, this little black
Okay.
burn on your finger.
No problem.
Static
That-
shock.
Yeah, I'll sort of probably take a step back and that does put me down to wounded again, but that's fine. I will try, if I can, have another throw it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody
So
else,
another
whatever you want to
dagger in?
do, start rolling your dice now so you can just tell me.
Yeah, I'll
happened?
use my pinpoint skill,
Okay.
and
That's-
I'll gamble a conviction.
1 success. So that's going to be 3 dice plus 1. That's another 3 with my throwing knife on him.
Okay, nice. Yeah, he takes it in the throat, like to the side where the carotid artery would be. If he were anything, if he were a little more human, it would probably do something more. Probably end this fight right now, but not so not. Jer?
I crack it for 1 point of damage.
Ah, okay. Right across the face, but he's the shield kind of pushes him back and sets him stumbling a little bit. So instead of on the side of the ear, it's right across the nose. His nose kind of twists, and it's not looking good. But yeah, he took at least a little bit of damage. It broke his nose. Ken, you see that if he gets water on him, it will ground him more, and it may actually set the electricity away, the corrupted electricity.
Okay,
Or he can
I'll-
also just be banished.
I will relay that to everyone else,
Okay.
and kind of unscrew the cap on my water bottle and try to just splash him.
Oh, okay. Done. Yeah, that's enough. The water gets on him, and eventually it starts going down his shirt, down his pants, and onto his feet, and then it touches the ground, and he just kind of goes rigid and straight, hands down to his side, and then his body just boom, drops, and you're pretty sure you see something like a electrified soul or something moving on the ground and then fleeing away.
Ooh,
Hope you don't see
Cool.
that thing again.
Oh,
So you guys are walking down a whole lot further, and shame Jerry's leaving because here comes a description. You guys are walking down a lot further. A large junction chamber. You're probably close to or not at um, where you need to be at this point, but there's a large junction chamber where ley lines are actually visible to you guys, and they twist the geometry of the tunnel. The air smells like ozone, feels fractured. The music from the source echoes eerily, like violins in the wind. There's something here, something standing there. It was waiting for you. Through your vision, as though it's activating automatically. It looks like a man, but as you're looking at it closer, you see that its knees bend the wrong way.
That's not good.
I'll shift the goggles on and see if I see anything else.
And I'll
He
spend a
looks
point of,
very much like those old Greek myth, half goat, half men creatures.
Satyr.
Good, you know what it's named. Of course you do.
Yeah.
I think we all know, but
I will spend a point of conviction to activate my hunter's sight. So I get
Okay.
all of the benefits of that.
okay. And he's looking. His face is twisted with it's kind of twisted and contorted, with ridiculously sharp features, and he's got horns on his head, two of them that curve very asymmetrically, but not perfectly. A mud-stained hoodie, dirty hooves, tapping complex rhythms on the tile. He seems mirthful, but laced with a bit of madness. And he's speaking, but it's just riddles.
So Pan here with his rats.
Oh, you are here to listen. Cool. Excuse me. So he let me get down to this. You guys are looking and you're kind of hypnotized just a little bit by the tap tap tapping that he's doing, and he's actually making a rhythm, and you're realizing the pattern of it, and by that you're trying to unfocus away from it, and you realize you're not quite where you were before. You know you're in a waking dream at this point. You kind of see your bodies there, but they seem almost, like you're separated from it.
Pan with he's controlling the rats. Fucking
Anyway, you don't see him anymore, but now there's a narrow pathway, and it's lined with hundreds of mouths carved into the stone. They're each whispering things that some of you guys recognize as your own thoughts before, like, you can't save them. They were stronger than you. You should have died instead. So you recognize some of them in your own voices, but others you don't. And you realize that you're hearing each other's thoughts made aloud by these mouths. There's another voice that comes through it. It's musical. It says, I am not alive, but I grow. I have no lungs, but I need air. I have no mouth, but water kills me.
fire.
As soon
Fire.
as you say it out loud, Jerry, the whispering mouths vanish and a doorway of warm light opens. You guys start walking forward some more, and you see twin bridges, a river of starlight beneath these bridges. One of the bridges is made of crystal and fragile. The other one's made of bone and sturdy, but it's cracked. Above the bridges, this message glows. One path lies, the other dies. One breaks, the other takes. Choose not the weight, but the wake.
Choose not to wake, but awake. If we're talking about water, awake is created by a boat. So, like either a ferryman or a boat of some sort, not a bridge.
You don't see anything of buoyancy.
Perhaps I use my vision and explore one of the bridges just to see.
Which one?
Oh, I'm saying this to them,
Oh,
to our party members. Perhaps I use my vision and explore one of these paths to see if it breaks.
It's worth a try.
Just to safeguard our potential passage.
Hold on a second. Before you do that,
Okay.
definitely not ruling it out. I have this weird theory. What if we're with all this weirdness going on, what if we could what if wake wasn't necessarily a wake like a water wake? What if it is implying lucid dreaming?
And
If we can control the dream, then we should be able to walk on water.
Because I mean, if we're aware, I mean, we're already lucid dreaming, so it's kind of like halfway awake, but not.
awake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, it's just another way of looking at the same word. But I don't want to interrupt, your thought process. I was just.
I
throwing-
mean, by that same measure, I could try to see what happens if I try to walk on air. But I think, given these choices, and given the previous riddles, there's probably a path to take, and a path that leads to destruction.
Probably.
you note that as you try to use your gifts, you're not in your bodies anymore.
I don't seem in touch with my skills, my gifts.
Yeah.
So if we're not attached to our bodies,
You have no powers.
or do we?
So two bridges, one of crystal and fragile, and the other is made of bone, and underneath a river of stars.
Okay, so if we are not attached to our bodies, are we weightless?
We could try.
I would suggest taking a bridge.
Well, I know that. I just mean if we were weightless, we wouldn't be.
I don't know. There's no scale. You're not flying. You're walking.
I know, but when I'm talking to my comrades here.
Shivers, can you lift me? I'm pretty heavy.
I doubt it, but I could certainly try. I've only got 2 strength.
It's
no,
a weird thing. You try and it feels like he's got his normal weight about him, but you also know there's something to it that you just haven't figured out.
Mm.
I am pretty thick.
With 2
Big
feet.
boy.
Yeah, with demand I can, but if we can't access our powers, then no. Can I hear the riddle again, please?
Not really a riddle, but one path lies, the other dies. One breaks, the other takes. Choose not the weight, but the wake.
I'm leaning towards the bone.
Why?
You start walking towards the bone bridge, and you sense a feeling of loss and a question that someone's not asking, but the question kind of hangs. Who have you lost?
And in my mind, I think it's been so long since I've thought of my parents, and We were close when I was a child, but eventually I kind of went a different way, and it's been probably a good 6-7 years since I've seen them. It's not that they've passed, it's just the distance has grown between us, and we don't talk like we used to. It used to be months, talking once a month or so, and then holidays, and then eventually we kind of just lost communication altogether. And there's a certain amount of what Ken realizes is almost like selfishness, just getting caught up in his own hyperfixations and his daily life and everything else. His wanting to learn about different things, the paranormal, that in a way that introverted part of himself has cut him off from everyone he knew.
You walk across the bridge and you do feel weightless at this point. And you get to the other side A-okay.
I will also approach then the bone bridge. And the person that I'd have lost is my father. He instilled everything in me that his father had instilled in him about being the epitome of being the gentleman's gentleman, of remembering what it takes and what it means to put your employer, your master before everything, giving everything that I have to ensuring their safety. And because of that one moment of personal business in dealing with his passing and his funeral has led me here. If it hadn't been for that, I would have been with my employer when he came to America. None of this would have happened if I hadn't have been selfish enough to put my family's needs in front of my duty.
Revealing this makes you feel weightless, a weight lifted off of your shoulders, off of your soul, and you're able to cross to the other side.
I have not experienced loss in this way, so my thought process is perhaps I will try the other bridge, which its path may be waiting for me.
You start walking across or approaching the crystal bridge, and it's very fragile. You know that it can only bear the weight of a single truth. And you hear a question being asked in your mind, but almost hurting your ears. Thoughts aren't supposed to be loud. You can't scream in your thoughts, and yet it kind of feels like that. What do you regret?
I regret my knee-jerk reaction in beating that man to death. He should have faced trial. He deserved his day in court, even though as angry as I was and as much as I felt like he deserved to die, that was not up to me. That was up to the jury of his peers.
And the truth will set you free, and you're able to walk across the bridge. And all three of you get to the other side. You get to your next trial of sorts, a moonlit garden where a silver tree grows with fruit in the shape of hearts, clocks, and keys. A small child waits, offers a riddle in an infant's voice. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish.
Cities with no houses, mountains with no trees, water without fish.
I put it in the private chat.
Anybody else got any ideas?
Chivers might, me personally as Max, no. Chivers is pretty intelligent, but I would need to be allowed to make a roll.
Make a roll.
Cities, houses.
Hold on, don't give it to him yet if he makes his roll. I want to see if we can figure it out.
Mountains.
Roll is for a hint.
Oh,
So intelligence, and it's probably going to be intuition, I should imagine. Academics, actually.
I have cities but no houses. I have mountains but no trees. I have water but no fish.
I've got 4 successes.
You're looking off, trying to think, what could this be? And in front of you, you see this huge area that spans in front of you, and you seem to look on it more, and there are corridors and pathways. It almost looks like a labyrinth. You guys all have this information.
A map.
The child touches your hand as you say this, and he seems to have always been a map that you have in your hands. You guys are able to walk through the labyrinth in front of you without any missteps. When you get to the end, you come across an empty chamber of smoky glass. In the center, a tall mirror stands, but it shows no reflection. Inside, you already know the words, "You are seen, but not known. You are heard, but not remembered. You are feared, but not by name."
oh, I missed everything you said.
It's in the chat. You are seen, but not known. You are heard, but not remembered. You are feared, but not by name. One of these days, I'll consider putting the book of riddles that I created back up on Kickstarter.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Until then,
Until then, you're going to vex players all the live long day. An idea? No.
you are seen but not known. You are heard but not remembered. You are feared but not by name. What are you now?
A dream.
And you see the reflection is yourself. It's awesome that all three of you got to answer one. You start walking through and you're reconnected with your bodies as you touch your own reflection. It is you, in fact, and you're back. Yeah, there is a symbol burnt in your minds that you may draw once and only once, and it will force a specter or a spirit to reveal its true name. Much like a wizard spell book in, or a scroll in Dungeons and Dragons, you get to use it once. Then you'd have to rememorize it, but you don't have the original. So, yep. So, you guys start walking through, and you see the satyr standing there, and it holds out its hand as if expecting you to give it something.
I'll hold up the fetish.
It smiles, shakes its head in the negative.
You're muted again, Ken.
I think I have what you need, and I will use a foresight and see what happens if I hand it the coin that was given to us.
That's what it wants.
All right. I will follow through.
It accepts the coin, and you realize that it has meaning to somebody, probably to the hunter who gave it to you, Mothlight. But he feels it, and he holds it in his hand, and it means something to him now. And he takes this, and he turns and he points with the coin still in his hand. He turns and he points, and you see the alcove lights up. That and this is where you put the fetish.
Yeah, I'll, with great reverence, place the fetish back in where it belongs.
Yeah, this is outside of the sewers, and a regular natural thing. And you do this, you place it back, and you feel there's a sense of right. You feel there's a sense of safety, not just about you, but all about, at the very least, the city. And you're able to walk through the little dreamscape that you were in before and get back out to the other side. It's a bit of a walk to get back to the power station, but you get there for the most part unaccosted. Even the rats kind of look on you a little quizzically and then turn and go about their business.
Nice.
And that is the episode.
Okay.
When we come back, you guys could be back at full health. And we can do
Hooray.
the final episode next week. Or whenever we can all get together again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can do. Yes, I can do next week, but I will have literally just got in from work because I'm working till 1 a.m. So
Smack yourself around. What do you think there, Derek? Yes, no? Yay,
4th of
nay?
July?
Oh, 4th of
Oh,
July.
yeah, 4th of July. Yeah, Derek
Oh.
definitely won't be able to do it. Me, I'm in Canada, so it doesn't mean a lot.
yeah,
So
same,
we'll plan on the next week.
yeah,
How
same
about
over here. Doesn't mean anything to us over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you celebrate getting your asses. I mean,
Yeah, but
Wow.
I can
will
definitely do the
say-
week after though. I can definitely do
cool.
the week after.
That'll actually be my birthday week.
Oh,
I was born on a Tuesday, and my birthday once again falls on a Tuesday, the 8th.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
sweet.
That-
Well, thank you. I'll be the big 5-0.
Oh,
Like I should go to
Never would
Hawaii
guess.
for that. Some of you will get that reference.
oh, Hawaii 5-0. Man, okay.
it was it was mine last week. So
Oh, well, happy
was-
belated.
thank
Yep.
you.
Related
I
indeed.
was just the other side of the 5-0.
You don't have
uh,
your birthday then on Facebook because I didn't get any notifications.
It should come up. I'm surprised it didn't.
Are we not friends on
you know-
Facebook? Maybe we're not friends on Facebook. Anyway,
I think we
Got it.
might have been friends through the through maybe movies, not through me as Max Rose.
that would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, lovelies, you got to witness something else that you did not do. It's fine though. We don't all answer the call. In the meantime, these guys answered far more, and they've made the city just a little bit safer. What could possibly happen to them next week?